Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. It should be hello, hello, hello. I know that, but oh, little Rodney. Sorry, I've just noticed that little Rodney is joining us. Sir Rodney. Rodney is a dog, a puppy, the cutest there ever was, and it belongs to the lovely Stella. And I'm in love with him, Stella. I wish I was with you. You could do this and I could sit and hold Rodney. That would be good with me. Good morning to everybody else. Morning to Anne, Trisha, Kaz, June, Heather, Fiona, Karen, Viv, Sarah, Jill, Catherine, May, Shirley. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first Wednesday of January 2021, which sees us all locked down and all nice and cozy. But thank goodness, as we said before, that we've got the craft, eh? So we will be here every Wednesday, as far as I can tell, and Friday and Sundays to show you some different things, some which I'm sure you'll have seen before and some which you might not have done, some with new products, some with old products, and just give us all something to think about, something to do. Whilst I was waiting for you, I just have to say, whilst I was waiting for you, I had some music on, and it was one of those mixes that are on Spotify. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with that. And it just plays random songs that it thinks that you're going to like. And I liked all of them. But isn't it funny how songs take you back absolute donkey's years? It's weird. I'll chat more about that in a minute, but let's get on with what we're going to get on with. So today I have got hello, hello, but I'm going to actually be putting those two together later on. But you can spy up here that I've got some distress inks because I'm going to be using some stencils, and I'm going to be showing you an old way of using stencils mixed with a new way. So let's have a go. So it's one of the Sweet Poppy stencils, and actually there's two to choose from. So I'm going to show you them both and then work with one and then show you the one that I did earlier. So these are what you call, oh, stuck to the magnetic already. These are what you call back plates. Excuse the lights flashing onto here. So they're a very large one. They are basically an A5. And this one is the Butterfly Swirl, which I think is gorgeous, starting off with the larger butterflies going down to the small. And I'll show you what I did with that one in a little while. So that one, and then this one, which is called the Circle something or other. Oh, can't remember now. Circle something. And this one I'm going to do because I feel that we could do this one for anyone I know, but I feel that this one is ideal for a man's card. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that one today. So I'm going to pop that to one side. Oh, and whilst I think about it, just to let you know, the stencil apertures that we had in just before Christmas are back in stock. So that's the metal ones, which are square, and then there's some circle ones, and they're on the Facebook Live product section of the website today, so that you can have a look if that's something that you were waiting for. So, as I said, we have got our stencil here, which is basically an A5 stencil. So I've cut out some card already here. And I've cut out my piece of white card so that it is the same size as my stencil, because as it's magnetic and I'm putting it on a magnetic sheet, I can then pop it right over the top and I don't have to worry about taping it down. So I've got a magnetic sheet. So it's an adhesive magnetic sheet, and I've popped it onto one of these, what do they call them? Self-healing mat, which is an A4 size, because I just find that that's easy to work with all the time. I could still use it from the other side as a self-healing mat, but it's got this permanently stuck to it, this magnetic sheet, which I think is quite nice. So, oh, circle texture. Thank you, Trisha. Yeah, circle texture plate. That's what it's called. So I'm going to be putting some colour on, and I'm going to be using these colours here. So we're going quite vibrant. So bear with me there. So I have got Peacock Feathers, Twisted Citron and Squeezed Lemonade. Oh, goodness, that is shining on that light, isn't it? Can you cope with that? Sorry about that. I think it would be too dark if I turned it off. Shall I try? Hold on a minute. That's better, I think, isn't it? We'll go with that because it's a bit too much for you to see that. But you can see my reflection instead. Well, I think it's better with the light, really, isn't it? Okay, so let's go with that. The rectangle, morning Tessa, the rectangle Sweet Poppy is on its way. It's actually not manufactured just at the moment, so it's still on its way, and it will be here at the end of the month. So there you go. Yeah, okay. So, and a couple of other shapes as well. You'll be pleased to see. So let us start. So I'm going to start off with the Peacock Feathers. So this is, as I say, really bright colours. So this is sort of your aqua type of colour. And I'm going to start off in the middle of this one. So as you can see, we've got a variety of different circles here leading out to slightly bigger ones on the outside. So I'm going to start off in the middle with my blending brush. And again, these are back in stock as well. The Sweet Poppy ones, I should say. Unfortunately, the Craft Artist ones are not back in stock at the moment. So I'm going to work out, make sure I go to the outer smaller little tiny bubbles and start off in the centre with my Peacock Feathers. Okay. And then I'm going to go out a bit more, this time with my Twisted Citron. So this is a really vibrant green, but I think it goes quite well with these colours. And I'm going to blend this in to the Peacock Feathers so that I have got a bit of a mixture going on. And I'm going to go sort of a third of the way with that as well. So not to the very, very ends, but I'm going to make sure that it's a definite colour. And then, of course, I'm going to come back this side because this is sort of like a mirror image. And let's go over there like that. And just make sure that you go to the outside because there are some little ones that sit on the outside. And then, finally, we're going over with Squeezed Lemonade. So that, as you can see, is a really vibrant yellow. I'm loading up my ink. And then I'm just going on to the last little colour. So I'm blending it into the green that was before it as well. And then just making sure that the very outer ones are the brilliant yellows. Okay. And whilst I'm doing that, I'll tell you what I was listening to. First of all, I was listening to The Carpenters. And as I say, these were chosen by Spotify, which thinks that I like that sort of thing. And as I say, he was right, or she was right. And that was nice. And then it went on to an Eagle song, which by the Eagles, that I'd never heard. And then it went to Watership Down. Do you remember that? When I was little, well, obviously a babe in arms, but no, I wasn't really. I was a bit older. As you probably know, I love rabbits and guinea pigs and things like that, all animals really. And I remember that book coming out and thinking, oh, it's all about rabbits. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it. And I was really disappointed because it's actually far more than just about cuddly bunny rabbits, isn't it? If you've ever read it or seen the film, it is nice, but it's also got some sort of warring things on it, hasn't it? And yeah, I can remember being a bit disappointed, but it was lovely listening to the music. I did like that. I'm just going to go over with the Peacock Feathers whilst I'm nattering on. Just want a bit more blue in it. So yeah, that was quite nice listening to that. And then it came on with something else. Oh gosh, can't remember what it was called. But it was a really rock one, which reminded me of being in nightclubs. Oh dear. There you go. Right, anyway, so we've got that beautifully blended in, we hope. So there's my colours used. I'll just pop them onto the one side. So then I'm just going to ease my plate off. And you can see that I've got lots of bubbles or circles. And you can also see that because I did it like that, I've gradiated so that I've got the bluey colour going to a green going to a yellow. So you could obviously do this so that you've got all sorts of different colours. You could do the whole thing in one colour. You could do non-gradiating, so that, or gradiate from down this side so that you've got the darker colour coming to a lighter, coming to a lighter. You could do all different colours, literally reds, blues, greens, yellows, and make it a really random. But I decided to go on a little bit of an organised one. So there you go. That's my base plate. Okay. So I'm then going to do some cutting, and I'm going to use, sorry, got to lean over to get it because it's decided to run away from me. I'm going to use 2 of my rectangle dies from Presscuts. Again, they will be back in stock very soon, but they're not just at the minute. But I'm sure you might have something similar in your stash. So because this is a rectangle card, I'm going to do it by rectangles, but the same trick, style, design could be used in any shape that you like. So if you've got some circles or some ovals, that would work as well. So I'm going to place my largest of my dies like that. And I know that I want to just make sure that I've got enough room to fit my sentiment down the bottom. So I'm just going to come in and sort of, it's more, I know it's virtually in the center, but I just want to make sure it is, if I possibly can. And then want to get my little one inside. So I'm making a frame, and obviously I'm going to stick that down. So let's stick the outside one down first. Now, normally I would put a great big piece of tape across here. Let's take that out so I can see that it's straight, but I'm not going to, because I want to be careful that I don't, as the ink is still dampish, really fine to cut, but just perhaps a little bit damp to go and put loads of tape all over it. So I'm just trying to be a bit careful and hope for the best here. Distress ink does take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just taping it down with small pieces of tape so that it's going to make a frame for me, and I'm going to run that through my machine. Isn't it funny how songs, as I say, take you back, and you're almost in the same room, you know, as you were God knows how long ago, isn't it? Really weird. Well, why it was particularly weird was because I didn't choose the songs. I had them chosen for me, and obviously they choose it with what you listen to generally, sort of thing. And so that's how it came about. But yeah, I'm just remembering Watership Down. So put this back over here. Now I do want all of these pieces, so I've got to be a bit careful when I take the tape off that I don't rip it off, because it is the blue tape. What do they call it, peoples? Oh dear. The removable, thank you, removable tape. And so it is fairly simple to take off, but sometimes it does stick a little bit, like that bit has just ripped off. So there we are. So we've cut the rectangle aperture into our card like that. Okay, so now I'm going to bring over a piece of black card, and I'm going to stick my outer piece straight down onto my black piece of card there. So ordinary glue with a little piece here. Oh, hold on, let's just clean that off. So just pop that on the sides, and although I don't normally put very much in the middle, I will here, because I do want that middle bit to make sure that that is stuck down as well. And I'm going to pop that down onto there, leaving myself that little black border all the way around, like so. Okay, so then I'm going to put some black tape onto the back of my frame. Now I'm going to use black tape. It doesn't matter if you haven't got black tape, but if you have, this is one of the times I think it looks quite nice to do it in black tape. And I'm actually going to put 2 layers of it on. So I'm going to put on 1 layer. The tape that I'm using is 2mm thick, and I really would like a bit more than that. So I'm going to use 2 lots of it. And let's just cut that properly. And so that will give me a 4mm depth, which I prefer for this particular type of card. Okay. There we go. So I've gone all the way round with it once. Like that. And then I shall take the tape off. She says. Now you just wanted to see me do that, didn't you, eh? Why this tape has suddenly gone funny, I don't know. Thank you very much, Mr. Tape. Blimey, that must be lockdown madness, mustn't it? That I'm now talking to a bit of tape. Dear, oh dear. See, if I had my little Rodney dog with me, I could be talking to the dog, couldn't I? Or at least it could look as if I was talking to the dog rather than the bit of foam tape. But no, not good. There we are. So that's taken the first layer off. Now, obviously, this is going to be really sticky, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful that I don't get in too much of a mess with it. So I'm just going to put that exactly on top of there. That one onto there. All this lockdown for everybody obviously is a real blow, and I'm really hopeful that by the time that we're out of this one, that this will be the last, because with all the vaccinations going on and everything, hopefully we'll be there. But we've got to stay positive. We've done it. We've done the worst of it. We've done nearly a blinking year, haven't we? Oh, that's handy. So we can do it, but we just need to keep ourselves busy, I reckon, whether it be in craft or knitting or paper craft or whatever, and maybe try something that you've never tried before if you haven't tried stenciling and popping a bit of ink through some holes, because basically that's what it is. It's really not difficult to do, and if you've got some different coloured inks, just have a go, because it's not a solid pattern. If the different coloured inks aren't next door to each other, then they're going to look great. So on top of all that, although this has to be one of the stickiest foam tapes I've ever had, I am going to put a little bit of glue as well. So, and then this, making sure I got it round the right way, because there is a right way, and that is not it. It's that way around. I'm going to place that over the hill, but I'm also going to put it just fractionally, sorry, you might get my head in the way here, just fractionally off centre, so that I can see a little bit of black. Can you see that little bit of black there on the outside? And then, making sure that I've got this round the right way, I shall pop this straight into the centre there, through the aperture, and then down onto that. Just going to use this to be able to get into the corners there, to stick that straight down. Okay, so we've just lifted that up a little bit. Now, because we're making this into a fairly simple card, I've got an A5 card blank there, and that is going to go straight onto there. And as I said, although you know, you probably made loads of cards and probably used the stencils before. Try and do something different. Don't stick to the same old things. Try and use this time of having lockdown so that we are all going to be such fantastic artists by the time we're finished. And let's have a look at what you managed to do with it, because it's really nice to see what people have achieved. Now, because I put the tape on, the repositional tape, I nearly got it wrong again, there are a couple of little places I can see where the tape has left a bit of a mark. So I just want to take that off with my rubber eraser, because I don't want to have sticky marks on there. So that just takes off anywhere where there was sticky marks. We don't want to have done all that so beautifully and then find that we got sticky marks everywhere, do we? Okay, so almost done. And then I'm going to get my sticky specs sheet. And you can see, as we started off with the word hello, this is from a die that I picked up about 3 years ago at a craft fair. Do you remember those? Do you remember when we used to go to craft fairs? Goodness me. It is nearly a year ago that I went to the last one, which was in Farnborough, the Make It show. And I can't believe that we haven't been again and that we won't be going again in the foreseeable future. But there you go. So I'm afraid I've thrown away the packet, so I can't tell you whose make it was, but I just know that I picked it up at a craft fair. Before anybody asks, because I know someone will ask. And I've used the word hello because I just think it's a generic sort of just saying hello, really. And as we said before, cards don't have to be just for birthdays. You can have any occasion, and particularly right now with things going on there, do just say hello to someone in a card. It's nice to phone them, but it's also nice to actually send a card. I'm just putting this immediately on top of the other one to give it some thickness and some bite to it. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a birthday, although I will just say, I'm not sure if they're watching, but Linda Jones, happy birthday to you. Michaela, it's your birthday as well. And also Sarah Cliff's birthday. According to the Facebook, I'm assuming that that is correct. So if it is, happy birthday to you, ladies. Hope you're having a good one despite everything. I'm just taking off any of the excess sticky that is on there. And so that's given me a much thicker one, which I feel is better to work with. And so then I'm just going to put this back onto my sticky specs again. I'm moving it about on here because the sticky is almost used and I'm just trying to find bits that are still sticky. So yeah, so send a card just to say hello. We like that sort of a card. Hello, and we're thinking of you type of thing. So that's got my hallowed stickied, and I'm just going to pop this down in this corner, just like that. So as I said, a really simple, possibly masculine card. But if you wanted to go the whole hog, you know what I'm like, you could get a lovely butterfly or something and you could pop him on the side there, and that could give you a lovely version as well. And here's one I did earlier, which is with the butterflies. So with the butterflies, I did it in exactly the same way, except that I made a larger aperture. You can probably see just about there that that's a larger aperture. I popped it onto my magnetic sheet and made it, as I say, in exactly the same format. But what I did with this one is I used Peacock Feathers, which is this mauve one, the aqua one down here, going on to the pink one, which was pickled raspberry or picked raspberry or whatever it is, and then going on to shabby shutters, so there's a greeny one amongst there, and finishing up with squeezed lemonade at the top. So that's sort of an array of colours going on with that one. And I think the butterflies is a really lovely one. as well. I've just grabbed a couple of sentiments really for that one. May all your wishes come true from me to you. You know, you can stamp a sentiment on there or whatever you wanted to do really, but they're made in exactly the same way. And as I said, if you haven't got rectangles, you could use an oval or a circle or a shape, as long as you can make a frame out of it. And I would suggest that you make the frame wide enough to be able to take your tape, only because it's easier. And also if it's too thin, if you make the frame too thin, too narrow, I find that it looks a little bit not quite right. So give yourself, and that's basically a centimetre. So give yourself a wide enough one there. So which one do you like best? I'm loving the butterflies, and I just like them both. I think they're both ideal for different times and whatever. And as I said, you can use them in different colorways. They would look so different. So if you would like to get any of them, and you do get them, I'd love to see what you do with them. Love to see all the different colors that you can do with them. And it really is a beginner's card, and yet it looks like a well, quite a professional one, I would say, would you not? Yeah, quite a professional one, because just by lifting that up, so you call it an Eclipse card, by the way, if you didn't know. You may well have seen them with well, I've done them before with various different things, but with alphabets and things like that. But it just lifts that up so that you can see that there's just not a flat card. Okay, yes, it's not flat. You can't post it for a flat card like that, but it's just a little bit different. And as I say, if it's just a sort of hello, how are you doing card, thinking about you, instead of the sort of birthday card and whatever, I think that's really quite nice. So, as I said, these two back plates the butterflies, I'm afraid, are limited. But the two back plates are on the Facebook Live section of MaximumCrafts.com, as is, reach over and get this, as is the aperture dies are back in stock. So they will be there as well. And I will be back on Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Don't forget, Friday, well, it usually is coffee morning, but unfortunately it will be coffee via Facebook or Zoom or something, because we can't miss out on that. So 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and it's Fancy Friday. So it will be a fancy fold this week, because I fancy doing a fold, and I've got a couple and I don't know which one to choose. So there we are. That's something to show you on Friday. All your lovely kits have arrived. If you have ordered the monthly card kit, they're all going out later today. But I have a mission now. I am off to take my dad to hospital for an appointment, for an operation, I should say. And so we're hoping that it isn't a wasted journey and that we get there and they don't say that he can't have it. But so fingers crossed for me that it is a successful day. So if I'm not around and you need me, if I'm not around this afternoon, it's only because I'm going to and from hospitals just at the moment. But, you know, not to worry, he will be fine. Hopefully, fingers crossed that they will do it. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. And have a great day. Stay positive. Get out some craft. Make one card and show us what you did. Don't matter whether it's with a stencil or not. Just make something just to show us that you're alive and kicking and you're positive. Okay then, everyone. Take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye.